Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of the day it is that you're listening to this. My name is Yvette Wanzu, and welcome back to the Walking with Wanzu podcast. How are you? How have you been? Has life been kind to you? It's been treating you good? Tough times? I'm sending you love and hugs nonetheless. Welcome back to the podcast. Enjoy listening. Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Wanzu. If you're new on here, I am the host of the Walking with Wanzu podcast, and this is a space where I like to talk about all things life, all my life experiences, the cringy ones, the happy ones, the sad ones, all those things that most people would shy away from talking about, but I would love to share. One thing that I love to do is to be able to exchange stories and experiences and also listen and learn from other people's experiences. Life is an unending journey of experiences, and us just going through things and learning from them and just embracing things as they come. And that's something that I love to experience personally. Now, I know that it's not oftentimes that we get to share of ourselves and give of ourselves and the experiences that we've had, but this is a platform that I have created to be able to share stories, bounce off ideas, and just have a space where we can just be. No heat, no judgment, no nothing. Just be your true, authentic self and share and give of yourself. I'm really grateful for the feedback that I have been getting. I've been getting a good amount of feedback, especially from our previous episode where I talked about heartbreak. Now, if you're listening to this and you haven't listened to that, please go back and click on that other episode. That was episode 5 of this season, and be able to listen in and chime into the conversation. I know we all have a thing or two to say about heartbreak, because these streets, character development is not your mate. It can be rough. But today I want to keep it light. I want to keep it happy. I want to keep it cute. And I want us to talk about something that we have been seeing being thrown around in our faces a lot, especially on social media. If you go into Instagram, if you go into TikTok, people are always making short videos and content around the thing, which is gratitude or being grateful. Now, I have been working on shifting my mindset. If you know me well, or you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know that I am those people who are always, my mindset has always been, I think that's just my nature. That's how I have been. I have been a glass half empty kind of person. So usually I look at life from from a pessimistic lens most of the time, as opposed to looking at it from an optimistic lens. However, I have really been trying to work on just how I package myself, also my mental health, my well-being, just my general outlook on life. And something that I constantly started to work on and I have been pursuing this year up to now. Now, imagine we're starting the second quarter, guys. It's giving we need to get it together, because this year is going by really fast. Where has the time gone? Wasn't it just the other day that it was January? Now it's April. Actually, as I shoot this, it's mid-April, and tomorrow is a holiday. Shout out to all my Muslim brothers and sisters, because tomorrow is Eid. Happy Eid. I'm so happy and excited. Tomorrow is a Friday, so I'm glad that we get to have a long weekend, despite the fact that I'm working on a Saturday. It's been a long-ass week. In fact, before we even get into it, let me fill you in. Let me fill you in on what my week has been like. This week has been hectic. First of all, my colleague is on leave. So I have been taking a lot of the workload at work. And then this was the week that I went and chose to have so many other after work activities. And these are things that I had been putting off and finding time to do, but I could only make time to do them this week. So even as I speak to you right now, it's 8:20, guys, and I'm shooting this podcast because I really wanted. One thing about me is ideas stream into my head. And so most of the time when I feel like I want to talk about something, I want to shoot this, I want to make an episode about this, just make the time and shoot and record so that it comes out as authentic as it possibly can. So this has been that week where my workload has been crazy, and then I've had so many activities outside of work. So even when I leave work at 5 p.m., I'm always heading somewhere to go and do something. So I have not slept earlier than 11:30, I want to say, and then my insomnia doesn't help. So of course there have been days when I have needed to pop a melatonin or two, but regardless, I am grateful. This morning, I have had a morning guys. First of all, I overslept. So, of course, I was late for work. And then just as I was rushing, so I had about 40-30 minutes to commute, which isn't too bad on a day that there's no traffic. I could easily make it to work within that time frame. There are times when I even make it to work in 20 minutes. But today, for some reason, I got stuck in the elevator because what happened? Immediately I got into the elevator, the lights went out. So now I had to call my daughter's nanny to go and call the caretaker to come and take me out of the elevator. And this has been a huge fear of mine. I remember there was a time I even used to keep having these strange nightmares about me being stuck in an elevator. And I am, for those of you who don't know, I am claustrophobic. Me and claustrophobia, insert handshake emoji. I do not like closed spaces. I hate the dark. In fact, thank God the lights went on when the elevator stopped because the lights had gone off. I think it was like a default setting, so there were lights in the elevator, and that way I could be able to function. Thank God there was oxygen. I don't know. It was just such. For a moment, I wasn't okay. But anyway, I lasted inside there for all of 5 minutes, and then I went out. And of course, by the time I was scrambling to go and catch a job and get to work, it was pretty late. I was 10-15 minutes late, give and take, but it was a lot. This morning was looking chaotic. It was giving chaotic. But nonetheless, I refused to have my day ruined. So I just got to work, I reset, I did what I needed to do, I got through the day, and then I was just consoling myself, telling myself tomorrow is a holiday, which it is. So shout out to my Muslim brothers and sisters. I celebrate you. And I hope you have a good time. Happy Eid. So let's get into it, guys. I could go on and on and on giving you an update about how my week was. But that was my day today. And it was, it was a lot. It was a lot. Let's talk about this thing called gratitude. Why am I choosing to embrace the attitude of gratitude? Gratitude does something for you. I personally have not been quiet or shied away from my issues about my mental health. I have struggled a lot with my mental health. I think in a few years, from 2020 to now, this has been my best year so far as my mental health space is concerned. I feel like I'm in a good space. I feel like I'm more equipped to handle the challenges that I face in everyday life. I feel like my energy is more zen. I'm in a forgiving space. Like, I'm just generally in a good space. And that's something that I don't take for granted. So something that I started to do the beginning of this year was start to look at things in my life that I can be grateful for. Because life can be overwhelming. Can we talk about inflation for a moment, guys? Why is the price of salt higher than it has been in the last, 20 years? Me, since I was a child, we used to buy salt the exact same price until this year. Then now it's increased. Prices of very things that, just basic things like salt and tea leaves, those are things that even the price has increased. And I see how the high cost of living, inflation, pressure, when you look around you, like, guys are in this hustle and grinding mentality, and life is moving and years are going by. There's a lot of pressure that is just coming with adulting. And when we were younger, we used to think we were slaying and we would slay adulting, and we are. But I promise you, even as half of us walk around looking hot, which we always do, girl, if you're listening to this, please also show up looking nice, because when you look good, you feel good. So when half of us who are walking out here, slaying our outfits and smelling nice, we're struggling, guys. Adulting it's a lot. It's a lot. That's all I'm going to say. So with everything that goes on with adulting and with life, a lot of the times we can feel overwhelmed, we can feel suffocated, we can feel like it's a lot. Like, it's so hard to look at the things that are going well for you when you're overwhelmed or when you're just trying to get through life. And something that gratitude does for you, it helps you balance out your life, right? So you can see and you're conscious and you're aware of the challenges and the things that you're going through or that you need to get through, but you can also pause and look back and see at the wins that you're getting. So you can see the small wins, but you can also see the challenges that are there. And that helps balance life out. It helps to balance life out, because no one wants to be in a space where you just feel like you're struggling, you're not winning, there are constant challenges, nothing is going well for you. That kind of that kind of space can put you in a very bad place mentally. So I wanted this to be a nice and light episode where we share some of the things that we are grateful for. And because this is me and I'm speaking from my own experience, I'm going to share with you some of the things that I am grateful for. And I'm so glad that I have done this after a long and this week has just it was a long week. It was a long week, guys. I feel like even last week was it was Easter weekend last weekend, and so the week was a 4-day work week, which was very short, but it also had to be the longest short week ever because there was so much going on. And I personally have had so much going on this April that where tomorrow is a welcome day to just be able to relax and unwind. So some of the things that I'm grateful for. The first thing that I'm grateful for is good health. I want to say it's not 2 weeks, about 3 to 4 weeks ago, I had a terrible sore throat, and it just started like a joke. I was always trying to clear my throat when I was talking. I was feeling a bit of discomfort, and then it escalated, and I had really, really bad tonsillitis. I don't know if there's good tonsillitis. So of course, the tonsillitis, when I say really, really bad, it's just it was really bad that I couldn't talk, I couldn't swallow, I couldn't do anything. Even just swallowing my own saliva was a lot. And on that day, I chose to tough it out and I went to work, and I really struggled because the nature of my job is that I interact with people a lot and I talk to people a lot. So when my health is not allowing me to do that, then I really struggle at work. So I remember talking to my boss and just telling her, where I'm trying to tough it out, but things are thick. I was running a fever. I was puking by that point. My throat was just feeling like where I can't talk. It's like my vocal cords are on fire. It's just a lot. And my tonsils were really, really inflamed. And on that particular day, as I went home in mid-shift, I just remember thinking where I've really been taking my health for granted. I really have. So over this period of time up to now, I am really genuinely grateful for good health. I mean, a few headaches here and there, which is normal because of fatigue and maybe lack of sleep, or when I'm almost getting my period. But other than that, honestly, I am so grateful for good health. And not only for myself, but for my daughter, because my daughter is asthmatic. And for the better part of last year, we were always in and out of hospital having her nebulized. And just being in a space where we've not had a serious asthma attack in a while, and even I am in good health, meaning I can function at optimum, that is something that I don't take for granted. So I'm grateful for good health. Another thing that I'm grateful for is work. Now, towards end of 2021, for the better part of late 2021, I was out here applying for jobs, trying to see what I can do to supplement my income. And on December the 23rd, I got this job that I'm currently working at now. And I am so grateful for my work. I'm grateful that at the end of every month, I have a guaranteed source of income. I know that the life I'm living now and the job that I have, just the fact that I have a job, is a prayer item for someone else. And that's something that sometimes we tend to take for granted because work can be a lot. Like today is one of those days I was just feeling like, do I need to be here? Why am I not a trophy wife? Work can be a lot and it can be overwhelming. But the fact that I have a guaranteed source of income at the end of every month, I can pay rent, I can pay my bills, I can do something nice for myself because I love nice things and I love to get them. But where are the resources? And the resources come from my job. So I am grateful for my job. There are times it stresses me out. There are times I just feel like every day of the week I want to quit. But at the end of the day, I'm just grateful that it's a source of income for me. Another thing I'm grateful for is my home. And this is something I thought of during the week. I'm coming from a very turbulent space as far as my relationship and dating life is concerned. And a few weeks ago, I just went through an experience that wasn't the best. And so my heart is a bit wounded at the moment. It has some band-aid on it. And I've really been, as far as, just healing from that and moving on from it, my energy has really been off over the last couple of, I want to say, weeks, and even over the last couple of days. So some days are good and some days are hard. And I was on my way home when I saw this person, and I don't know why my heart normally really goes out to homeless people. And there's this guy. So the matatu I was in was going through a roundabout, and there was this guy who was sleeping. And from the way, from his posture as he was sleeping, I could tell he was deep asleep. right? And I just remember sitting and thinking, this person is homeless. So now this person is sleeping in the middle of the road and they're deep asleep, meaning first things first, they're tired. Another thing is, of course, they don't have anywhere else to go. So they've just chosen to rest here and sleep here. And of course, sleeping outside, in fact, first of all, some of us are even always so embarrassed when you even doze off in a matatu. So you can imagine what it takes for someone to just decide, me, I'm going to lay here and just sleep. Yeah. And I was thinking, this person doesn't have a place to call home or a place to just go inside and put their head down and sleep. And I think I have it bad when I'm here nursing heartbreak. But at the end of the day, I have a house, I have a home to go to, I have a warm bed to sleep in, I have food in the house waiting for me. Honestly, as much as issues of the heart are not working out at its best for me in this moment, I have so much to be grateful for, just by virtue of the fact that I have a home and I get to go there and just, just lay my head and sleep, and my loved ones are there and they're safe. So I'm grateful for my home. I have this idea in my head of what my dream space is like, my dream living space is like, how I would want it to be. I can see the kitchen garden, I can see the roses, I can see a beautiful, clear, like airy house. But at the moment, and my home is that and a lot more, but at the moment, now in this moment, for where I am and the place that I call home, I am grateful. Another thing I'm grateful for is my daughter. Now, I don't know about you, but as a grown woman, as a grown 30-year-old woman, I have friends and even family and people who are going through different dynamics in their lives. And shout out to all the people who are expectant in this season, by the way, because why is half of Nairobi pregnant? Can we just pause and talk about why half of Nairobi is pregnant? You people are really working. You people are hard at work. Love it for you. I love that for you. If you're listening to this podcast and you're expecting, more power to you, honey, and congratulations. So yes, another thing I'm grateful for is my daughter. I know a lot of people, like, parenting is a prayer item for some people. And I know that sometimes parenting, in all honesty, is not as glamorous as sometimes people make it look. When you go into Instagram and see us posting selfies and how we talk about how much we adore and love our children, which we honestly do, parenting is not as glamorous as it seems. It comes with a lot of responsibility. It comes with you prioritizing your children, making sure they're good, they're well, they're taken care of. It comes with you putting in the work to make sure you're the best version of yourself. Because one thing about children, they don't follow advice, they follow what they see. They follow what you're doing. So you can never be like, do as I say, not as I do. They'll follow what you do. So I'm grateful for my daughter. I'm grateful for the gift that God gave me, that is her, and that I get to nurture and just see her bloom and thrive and just be her own person. I am truly, genuinely grateful for my daughter. When I first moved out from home and I got my first job, I remember feeling an overwhelming feeling of loneliness. And ever since I got my baby, that changed. Because first of all, she's always talking, except for when she's sleeping. She's always doing these funny things, and she's just a joy to be around. So I am genuinely grateful for my daughter. Another thing that I'm grateful for is for my body. I have a love-hate relationship with my body, and I'm still trying to figure that out. And this is something that we're going to be talking about real soon. This is the lightest I have ever been in my entire life. When I was younger, of course, I wasn't the chunkiest baby. I wasn't the plumpest baby in the room, but I was actually really, really thin or slender. Like, I had a very thin frame. And then when I went into high school, into my teens, then I blossomed. Of course, my hips came out and my breasts were full, and I was just looking cute. And that was the heaviest I had ever been. And I didn't realize at the time just how beautiful and curvy my body was until I gave birth and I lost all that weight. And now I'm at a space in my life where I'm not my heaviest, I'm not my curviest, and sometimes that can make me feel a bit insecure, especially since when you open Instagram, all you see is ass, 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 and you see hips, and you see thick babes killing it and doing, just looking hot, and that can really get to you as a girl with a slim frame. So I have a love and hate relationship with my body. Of course, there are parts of my body that I really love. I love my tiny waist. I love my forehead, because how do you know you're beautiful if you don't have a big forehead? Shout out to all the ladies with a big foreheads. Yeah, I know there's this long running joke about East Africans and their foreheads. I love my forehead. That's one of my favorite features in my body. So yes, I'm grateful for my body. I'm just grateful for the fact that it helps me function. I love to walk a lot. If I'm going somewhere, if I can walk there, I will. I'll walk to the supermarket. I'll walk to the shops. I'll walk my baby to school or from school. I'll walk when I take her to school, when I do the morning school run and I'm not going to work. I love walking back home. So walking is something I really do. And I'm grateful that my feet are good and they're functional and they can allow me to walk for long distances and just enjoy full functionality in my body as it is. Do I feel like there are certain aspects of my body that I can improve? Yes. But I'm just being really gracious to myself about that. I'm grateful for my mind. I know that I'm a really smart person. It's not every day I choose to tap into my smartness, but for the most part, I know, and I'm so grateful for my mind and what it does. I'm grateful for my brilliance. I'm grateful for my creativity. If you listen to this often enough, you'll know that this is the year that I'm choosing to tap into my creativity. I am a creative. It's something that I have known for a very long time, but it's something that I have shied away from for a very long time. I love to express myself creatively in how I dress, in how I work, in just the tiny little things that I do. There's always a pop of my creativity that comes through. But this year, I'm choosing to embrace it. I'm choosing to see what it is, to push the boundaries, to learn new skills, and to see how I can pour into my creativity and just be a bomb. And so I'm grateful for that. I mean, it's not everyone who can just sit down and come up with ideas and do things here and there. And so it's something that creatives sometimes, because that's what we are, can take it for granted and think it's just a normal thing, but it's not. And so I'm grateful for that. Another thing I'm grateful for is my faith and for the concept of grace. I am grateful that I know and have something to believe in. My faith is anchored and built in our Lord Jesus Christ. He is the finisher and the founder of my faith. And I'm also so grateful for the concept of grace. The concept of grace is something that I really love, to be honest. And that's why I think I named my daughter Neema, because I personally also knew that I would need a lot of grace in this parenting journey. Grace is like, I don't know, how would we define grace? Grace is peace. Grace is love. Grace is acceptance. Grace is understanding. And something that I am constantly trying to do, even as the full concept, or what Christianity is basically anchored on, is the concept of grace. I'm trying to be more gracious to people around me, to strangers, to the people that I know, to the people that I work with, to the people that I interact with on a regular, and even those that I know I do not. I am really trying to be gracious. Yes, I feel like I have gotten this far in life because of the amount of grace that I have received and that people and even God has poured into my life. And if that's something that I can embody and give back in return, I am happy to. And so in this particular moment, I am so grateful for the grace that I have received, and that's that which I have been able to have inside me to be able to extend and pay forward as well. I am so grateful for the concept of grace. Guys, if we move with a bit more grace, life could be so much easier for a lot of people, because whether it's clear to us or not, each and every one of us is fighting a certain battle, and we may not be vocal or be forthright about it, but it takes, like, it's so special and such a good thing to be gracious to each other and to one another, whether it's in your workspace, whether it's at home, in any small sphere of influence that you're in, especially if you hold a post, like if you hold any kind of form of authority, please be gracious. Please be gracious. It goes a long way. Grace goes a long way for people. Another thing that I'm grateful for is my support system. I'm an only child, for those of you who don't know. So it's just me. I'm the first, I'm the last, I'm everything. But God has been so gracious to me, and life has just handed me people down the line that have walked with me. I'm grateful for my support system. I have people who call me, who pray for me, people who cheer me on, people who just love on me even for no reason. And that's something that sometimes we can take for granted, even in life when you're going through it. But I am grateful for my support system. People who have held me down in different seasons in my life, those whom I have drifted apart from, but even those that I have managed to be in touch with. So something that sometimes I feel like I take for granted a lot, and sometimes I overlook, is my support system. And so in this moment, I'm choosing to be grateful for them. Whatever that looks like for you, I do not know. But for me, it's the people who come through for me. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know what life would look like without my nanny. My nanny is almost very close to being my co-parent, because she's the one who picks my daughter from school in the evening. She's the one who takes care of her. She'll give her her evening bath. She'll make for her food. If it's a day that I'm really busy and I make it home late, she'll cross-check her homework. She'll give me updates on what's going on. She helps me take care of my home. And that's my support system. She is a very central part of my support system. And I am genuinely, truly grateful for her. I don't know how my home and even would run, and even how I would manage to parent my baby and still work without her. And so the small people who make life easier for me and who support me in different aspects of my life, I am grateful for. Now, last but not least, I am grateful for laughter and light moments. I am just learning, and even now, and maybe it's something that I loved back then, but it's something that I'm doing now more consciously, to be in the moment when I'm experiencing life with people, more so my loved ones. I love to laugh. If you know me, you know I love a good laugh. Anything, I will make light of anything. Find me at a funeral, still trying to make light of things. Okay, so one thing about me is I love light moments. I love laughter. There's a certain kind of joy that comes from laughter and light moments, and just finding the good in life that I love. I've always been known to have secret nicknames with the people that I'm close to have inside jokes with the people that I'm close to. I'm always the one, even at work, who's happy to bring light moments and just laughter and joy in the room. That's something that I personally love, and that's something that I personally appreciate when I get to experience it from other people as well. Now I know. Life is doing the most. It's throwing curveballs after curveballs. It could be curveballs of good things, but sometimes it could also be curveballs of difficulty. But I promise you, as you listen to this, I know how corny and cliche this sounds. There's always something to be grateful for. And if you look around you hard enough, you'll notice that the balance of life is that one of us is always experiencing what is another person's prayer. And I hope that when you look around you, despite whatever phase of life you're in, that you find something to be grateful for. Now, here's a little challenge. Reach out to me on Walking with Wanzu on Instagram. You can find me on tewanzu@gmail.com, or even send me a little message on here and tell me that one thing that you're grateful for. It could be anything, honey. Here we're not limited. If you're grateful for sex, more power to you. I'm happy for you. If you're grateful for food, good food, I don't know if it's your favorite meal. If you're grateful for your hair, like you have long, beautiful, luscious hair. If you're grateful for your relationship. If you're grateful for just who you are, for just your awesomeness. Like, you just look at yourself in the mirror and you're just like, I'm so grateful to be here because I feel like I'm such a gift to this universe. Then more power to you. But I would love, love, love to pose a challenge to you for you to be able to just look around you and find some of the things that you're grateful for. Find something, just one thing, even that in your life in this particular moment is going well for you that you're grateful for. There's always something to be grateful for. I will not get tired of saying that. I'm sending you love and light and good vibes. If you're going through a tough time, or you're going through it, I'm sending you love and hugs. My DMs are always open. Please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to talk. I'm happy to exchange experiences. Let's just do this thing called life together, because no man is an island, right? Thank you so much for coming back on here. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye bye. Stay grateful, stay blessed. Peace. I'm out. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode and being part of my journey. I would love to hear from you. Find me on Instagram at Yvette Wanzu. Find me on Gmail at tewanzu@gmail.com. Feel free to write to me so that we can interact and get to know each other a little bit better. Thank you so much for being part of my journey and for walking with me and doing this thing called life with me. See, we just do life together. Ama, have a good one. Sending you love and light, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.